Do this, go there, hit one of these, do this, play that, close this. Shuffle that. Change it back to this one. Boom. Okay. Be good. We're streaming, right? Yep. Alright. Almost set up here. So, it is December 8th. Almost midnight. I just got finished watching the Game Awards. Kind of funny ending there. But, I don't know. I got a few things to say about the Game Awards. Two games that really stood out to me for upcoming stuff. Armored Core, of course. I'm a big Armored Core fan. Though, well, I say that. I didn't like the last Armored Core. But I like pretty much all of them before that. Here's hoping. I think it'll be good. Like, gaming landscape has changed quite a lot, and especially from software. Though I don't know about if they go in like a more Dark Souls direction, which I'm sure they will. I'm not a huge fan of Dark Souls games. I guess so. I played Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and I think I played Dark Souls 2 or 3. I don't know. I lose track. There's so many of them. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt like the formula got old for me. I know a lot of people really like those kind of games, but I was kind of done with it after like the first two that I played, because it's just like, yeah, okay. It's a very time-consuming type of game, right? But yeah, I'm a big Armored Core fan. I love big mecha games. I consider Armored Core to be right up there with Mech Warrior for me, for like awesome mech games. Zone of Enders. That one's exciting, and then the Baldur's Gate 3 one actually looked really interesting. They showed Minx, which was great. That was a great treat. I love Minx as a character, which I think he's just like a crowd favorite. That was fun. I have been looking forward to seeing that, though. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Larian games. I've played both the Divinity games, and I haven't finished either of the Divinity games because there's just something with the combat. I've never really enjoyed it. I think it's the way it's designed. I'm like a completionist kind of player. So a game that's built around having all these like different routes to achieve the same goal, but like it makes sense. It seems cool, but in practice, I really don't like it. Because I just want to do everything before moving on, and most of the stuff just brings you back to the same end result, and it's not, I don't know. I just don't think I'd play those games right. I'm hoping Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't go down that much of a route. I did play a little bit of it, but I didn't want to play any more of it until it was actually completely out. What else? Oh, the other thing is just like, golly, I hate Twitch. Twitch ads is so bad now. It's like the last time I'm going to watch something live. Like an ad played, well, one thing, an ad was playing like every 30 minutes for me. I don't know what it was. 30 minutes seems like too long. It was probably like 20 minutes. And it was like 4 or 5 ads. But every time an ad would come on, it would be like when they're announcing a winner. And it actually happened for the Game of the Year one. I had an ad cut on right before they announced the Game of the Year. So mad. I was like, fuck, I'm just going to watch the VOD from now on. I don't get ads on VODs for some, like, I don't know what's up with my ad block, but it only works for VODs. It doesn't work for streams. I don't know. Kind of annoying. I don't know, outside of that, I don't really care for any of the games they're being nominated. I didn't play any of those games. I've been playing more indie stuff this year, so I didn't play anything. I didn't play Elden Ring. Stray. I don't know why Stray got nominated so many times. It's because Cat. It seemed. I watched Stray, but it didn't seem that good. Not to be in everybody's like. I don't know. It's just like the indie that they tagged on everything. It seems more like an indie game than a AAA game. I don't know. Just not big into the popular games right now. They're not really my style. Okay, but that stuff aside, let's talk about my game. Shoot, last thing we were doing, I think, I was working on the research stuff, right? Yeah. I finished the research stuff. I can show a little bit of that. And we're moving on to making cutscenes now. I went through all of my old cutscene screens or whatever, and I wrote down all the dialogue. Honestly, I wrote down all the dialogue for the research stuff, and I ended up deleting it, which now I regret because I'm going to have to write all that back down for localization. I really need to have all these lines of dialogue so that I know what I need to get translated, right? But I'll have to go save all that again. As far as this research stuff, it didn't change too much really from what we had before. I did have to like resize some of my lines to fit inside the text we have here. Also, I need to get rid of this. I just thought about this. I think this is too long. Yeah, I think I will do that. So each one, depending on like where the triangle is, it has a different way of coming in. So there's 4 different corners. One comes in from the left, one comes in from the right, one from the top, one from the bottom. But those are all pretty simple to do. I did have to change some stuff in the draw event to make it to where the text doesn't start drawing until the screen totally fades in, and I got to make sure these triangles don't come in until the screen fades in. Otherwise you can see like these triangles behind the research windows when their alpha is low. So that was an error that I didn't really see until I got to those different ones. I don't think anything else here really changed though. It's basically what we had before for skipping. Yeah, pretty standard. So that's all the code for it. And I'll show it. I think I want to go ahead and edit all these though. I noticed that when I've been playing these cutscenes that it takes a while to start, and that's because it's like loading this whole top part. I want to make this more consistent, so I am going to take all these top lines and remove the characters so it's not counting those. See, so the Angler one, it actually starts at the very top, because otherwise I would run out of character space if I ended up deleting like all of my very long lines, right? Before I was deleting like short lines of text, so I wasn't really losing many characters. But when I started getting to these ones, if I was deleting the top lines, like I was skipping a line before and I was getting rid of the top line, I wouldn't have enough characters to actually write what I wanted to write. So I ended up changing that. And I had to change it for all the previous ones as well. I was looking at like National Geographic, a few like Googled sites when I was coming up with this like information stuff. I wouldn't say I came up with anything too interesting, though the salmon one, I got kind of, actually this is the salmon one. I got lucky that I didn't really know. Salmon's more of a West Coast thing, a Pacific thing. Though there is an Atlantic salmon, but it's on the endangered species list. But my game takes place in 1994. I don't think it was endangered at the time. So I can kind of still use it. I'm just going to wave that aside because I've come too far, you know, to remove the salmon now. I can always say something like, oh, they've migrated, or just some narrative, you know, hand waving. But yes, there is a breed of, or yeah, breed's not the word, but there is a type of salmon that lives in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's up near where my game's taking place, up towards like the northeast of the US. So it can technically work. Okay, so that's all that fixed. Now let's go ahead and test this real quick and I'll show what it ended up looking like. Is the mic still on? Yeah, okay, good. We haven't had any mic problems in a long time, so I guess updating OBS was the fix for that. I'm still like constantly worried about it though. Okay, I don't think I changed anything else though after doing the research stuff. I took like one day off there, but then I worked 2 of the days. It says it's been that long since I streamed. I've been working pretty well, besides the one I took off. So far December's going well. So when we go in this, we unlock the jellyfish one because I just set this one for testing. This will work correctly if I click on this, it'll unlock it and then go into the scene. And then the scene starts playing. Yeah, so before it used to like wait for it to load the entire top line. This is a lot better paced. Jellyfish autopsy. The diet of this invertebrate has been exposed to the meteorite particles. This has resulted in strange behavioral pattern shifts. God, I can't speak. I usually suck at reading out loud. I don't know why. My brain goes ahead of me or something. I've always had this problem. The body and bioluminescence has shifted in hue to an orangish color, and the body has become extremely sensitive to sudden impacts, causing an explosive chain reaction inside. So yeah, just a little bit of lore or whatever about the jellyfish. Most of them are a bit like this. Sometimes I try and talk about, like, I drop little details about unique characteristics of the animal that may have shifted, but I found myself talking about like them having like a volatile reaction and behavioral patterns. I talked about that a lot because I just couldn't think of anything else to talk about, and I wanted to explain why they become more aggressive and why they explode when you kill them. I found I did that a couple times and I was like, okay, I have to stop doing that because they're kind of starting to sound samey, right? But I think I came up with like a pretty good amount. A lot of them, I don't know, it was hard getting the correct amount of characters. So some of them I had to like, it'll end a little bit early, like somewhere in this line, and I had to just like come up with some like small sentence or something that I could squeeze in down the end to try and make it kind of fit all the text. But yeah, that works fine. Basically what I was going for. Yeah, I see you. There we go. It's usually Goba that messes up. I think Goba's the cause of that. Okay, so I'm happy with all that. I think the research cutscene stuff turned out well. And honestly, it was pretty easy. Once I like got all this written down, this is the hardest part, is just coming up with what I wanted to write in this small character restriction that I had. Once I had that, pretty much breezed through that, so that was easy. Okay. This is what we're working on now. I'm gonna close this, but I'm gonna open this back up. I wish that would have opened up below it. Coming up on Christmas soon. The 8th. It's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm like day 4 and working 7 days in a row because somebody went on vacation. So I'm like, it's my hump day as far as work's concerned. Of course, this work never ends. But it's got me feeling a little burnt out. But I don't think this cutscene stuff's going to be that hard. It'd be difficult. And we've got a lot of what we're going to be working with from the start anyway. Alright, so we definitely want to fade in. So I'm going to add that. We're going to need text strings and probably state. So yeah, state equals 1. I don't know how I'm going to do text strings because we're going to have a lot of text strings. I could just do like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And it would be nice if they were all written down here so that I can change them. I can find them and change them. If I put them in my step event, it's going to be kind of like messy to find all the different text strings, so this will probably be the better place. We'll do like text string 1 equals like this, and do like a whole bunch of them that way. Because unlike this one, this was just the one. The cutscenes go through multiple different text. And I think all this is going to be the same. We do need the clip stuff because we need the skip button. So all this on the end I need to copy and paste. Space here. Alright, draw event. I'm going to do the parts that I'm definitely going to have. So this I'm going to have, and it's not going to change. It's going to be the exact same thing I've done here. So let's bring it in. And we will need this, but I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm not just going to copy it. Alright, so we'll get the skipping stuff in at least. Skipping will be always be on top of everything else, so it'll be on the bottom as far as this is concerned. Because in game dev, the bottom is often the top step. Alright, so this will be the hardest one, and this is the intro. And this is kind of like sets the, kind of like I did before where I did the jellyfish. And then it was really just copying this and maybe change a few things here and there, but for the most part, yeah, once I had the template that I could copy from, the rest of it goes really fast. And I imagine this is going to be the exact same way. I'm going to get this intro figured out, and then once I have it done and I'm happy with it, the rest of them pretty much just following the same format, except for the final frame, which is usually like an animated piece. But so I was thinking I might want to do everything except for the animated part and then go ahead and copy it. But honestly, I could just copy it and delete the animated part once I copy it. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like it doesn't matter. I'd rather have the whole thing done and make sure everything is good so I'm not editing a whole bunch of cutscenes later on. All of these cutscenes. So I think the best thing to do is use these states for drawing. I don't know if I want to do, I gotta think about how, like, what's the best way to do this. Well, first things first, we should go ahead and set up our state machine, right? Because that's a given. We're definitely going to have that. Oh, and this. We definitely want the skip button and everything. So we can go ahead and copy that. So what changes here? We got auto skip. This is for the hold. And that's for increasing it. So this goes to 3, which is the end. But we don't know where the end is, so I'm going to hide that. That way it'll bring up an error, and I'll know to fix that later on when I know what actually goes here. All this is still the same. This will be different. We'll just keep that part of it because that'll probably be true. And this will cause an error probably. What I could do is just comment this stuff out. And then bookmark these. There we go. So now I know to come back to these later on. This is good. All this is still the same. So okay, that's everything we need to do for skipping. All right, and now the switch stuff. So before, what I did is I had like a state that handled the fade in part, and then I had a state for like drawing text and skipping and all that stuff. So you have to do the fade in before you can actually skip to the next part. And then the next one was just for fading out. And if you do the skip up here, it drops you into this one. And then the last one is just for exiting and assigning the correct variables. Oh yeah, there's a thing I forgot to add here in my notes. I've been adding more stuff to my notes as I've been thinking about it. One thing I need to do that I haven't been looking at is I gotta make like a loading window. So when you start the game, it loads like all the options menu stuff, and then when you hit new game, it loads everything in the game, or load game. I'll have to do that at some point. That'll stop all the stuttering that happens when I test the game, at the cost of a loading screen. But that's a lot better than it happening during gameplay. But the other thing that I forgot to add into this is, autosaving. Yeah, I haven't added autosaving. I don't know when's the best time to do that. I guess when I do progression, yeah, after I do progression, I'm gonna spend a little time doing autosaving. As I have autosaving like when you die or when you quit the game, but, well, I have saving there, but I need to have like certain states when the game actually saves itself. I need to figure out when I want the game to actually save itself. I'm not going to do any sort of like save menu. It'll just be like automatic. But if the player like loses their upgrades and they decide that they want to go back to the title and reload their game, that kind of tells me that it would be better to do the autosave when you exit a stage. Or maybe like every time you enter the world map. I think that would be a good time to save. That'd probably be the easiest way to do it, right? I could probably do auto-saving really fast now that I think about it. All I'd have to do is go to this OW camera, and then part of this create event, when the camera gets created, at the bottom here, we will do a save. but because I've forgotten what I did for the save, I gotta bring up the port. No, not the port. Pause. I did saving in the pause. This is like going back to the title. I guess quitting would be basically what we want. Here we go. Well, this is all I had to do. Okay. That's really all the autosave is. So anytime you go into the world map, it will check which save slot you're using, and it'll save game for that save slot. And this way, yeah, the game will automatically save. And if you're in a stage and you lose all your upgrades and you say, screw that, I don't want to buy new ones, and you quit out of the game from the stage, well, you'd have to Alt F4, because if you quit using the pause menu, it's going to automatically save. So you'd have to Alt F4. So it really is mute, or moot. I don't know. I think this is the best time to save. Anytime you go to the world map, save again. Seems good enough. And this will only run the one time when it's created. Alright, that's auto-saving. I did it. Ah! Another one done. So good. I thought I would add that to the thing, but turns out that's probably all I have to do. I won't even include that. I'll throw that here. Okay, cool. Oh God, I just got rid of this here in the wrong object. Oops. I just saw that and did this up here. Right, so I was thinking about how I want to do fading in and fading out. The one thing that I did not do, I haven't really paid attention to how we looked at a lot of like retro games, the way they do cutscenes, but I didn't really take note of how fading in and fading out works, because it's usually like a black screen. You don't really pay attention to that. And I don't think I like recorded any videos of it, so I'd have to like actually load a game and just check real quick. I don't know, I might have recorded a video. I definitely got one on my YouTube, but that's a little more effort than I'm willing to put in. There we go, cutscenes. Did I save any videos? I think I did. No, that one's for SimCity. I got lots of pictures, but the pictures don't tell me how the cutscenes are. Oh, here we go. Yeah, okay, cool. I have to mute this. Okay, so I guess I should share the screen now so you can see what I'm looking at. There we go. This was one of my main inspirations, Black Manta. So yeah, shoot, I wasn't even paying attention. I know it's typing out the way I want, but what happens here? It just... Okay, it faded out, but it didn't really fade in. It just started up with the text. The previous scene faded out, but the new one just kind of came in. I wonder if it'll keep doing it like that. It kind of fades in. It just fades in super fast. So fast it's hard to even pay attention to it. Fade out, fade in. Yeah, that's like a really quick fade. It's like a half second or something, but... Okay, so we're gonna have to do like a really fast fade in, fade out. That makes me wonder, do I want to put that like on its own state? Or should I just do that as part of the thing itself? Like when this thing swaps, how long does it take for the text to actually start running? Is it gonna swap? It does wait for it to fade in before it starts running text. Yeah. Okay. I got an idea for it at least. Okay, so really fast. I just feel like if I run through a bunch of states like this, or like this, I'm gonna end up having like a lot of states by the time I get to the end. But this does simplify things. It'll run this until it gets to the end, or it gets to the next one. As long as I don't track like the key confirm, I won't have to worry about completing text or anything. It's just anytime the screen like transitions or fades. But I'm going to speed this up and make this happen like way faster. So I think that'll give, it might be good because it'll give like a brief moment before you can press this, like the continue button, if you're like ramming it, you know, repeatedly pressing it. You don't want them to skip through things they didn't mean to skip through, right? So making them wait half a second with the fade in part, I don't think will be a bad idea. I am thinking about just doing it like this. It just means that there's going to be a lot of extra, right, in between like every scene, which, I mean, there's not that many. The opening is one of the biggest ones, and it's like, let's see, one, like 19, so it's gonna be like 20 scenes. So if it's gonna be 20, then we're gonna have like 40 of these fades in, fades out, right? It's gonna be pretty long. We'll just have like so many states of this stuff. Okay, I think I am gonna do it this way. It seems kind of weird, but I think it'll actually be cleaner to, because I mean the other way to do this would be like, you do the fade in thing, if image alpha, whatever. Okay, it doesn't really matter. If image alpha, just pretend that's what that says. You know, it'll set it to it, and then I just need to see like if it equals 1, then do all the text thing at this point, which would be like, you know, all of my stuff that is normally in this state would be in this little part. It feels like it's unnecessary to add all this extra stuff, and I could just add one more state that you go through. Okay, so let's do the fade out as well. Okay, we don't need this. This only needs to go on the very last one. We do need this for the fade out. But it's a little different because we're fading out and then we're going to the next one and then fading in. And I guess that's technically what I want, but it seems really dumb to, I'm gonna run this fade out animation and I'm gonna immediately go to another one of these. You know what I could do is just make a state. Yeah, this makes more sense. If I'm going to do it that way, this would just be the fade in state, right? And then I'd have a fade out state. I think that would get really confusing though, because I don't know how to like find which state we're going into next. I mean, another thing I can do is just say like, in here we do like if fade in as a variable, and we run like all that code down here. And then we say if fade out, same kind of deal. And then in each one of these steps, we would, yeah, when you change states in the first one, we'll keep this here. But let's say this was the first one. We start with a fade in when it goes into this one, because it's set to true, right? So if it's set to true, then this is going to be running. And then we say if not fade out, or not fade in. So basically this will force it to wait until this actually finishes before it starts doing this. And then once this thing is done doing whatever it's supposed to do, drawing the text and drawing the picture, then at the end, when I press the button to move on, I'll just say fade out equals true. And then I'll say like, yeah, the state will advance. So maybe I don't want the state to actually advance until fade out. Oh, okay, then I just do the state equals state advances at this point. So the fade out has to like completely fade out, and once it does, it'll advance the state, and it'll also set fade in equals to true again, right? So it's a bit convoluted, but basically fade in has to play. Once it's done playing, it'll start doing whatever it's supposed to do in this state that it's in. Once it's done with it, we'll set fade out equals true, and the fade out will fade out the thing. It'll advance our state and turn fade in back in and repeat the process. I feel like that's the best way to do this. That way I don't have like all these states that I'm going through with all these extra, like, it just seems like it'd get way too bloated if I kept repeating this over and over again. So, okay. So I'm going to throw this in here. But the state will not advance here. What'll happen is at the end here, it'll say fade in equals false. Okay. So fade in will be on by default. I need to do it here. Okay, so fade in's true. It's going to do the fade in. Once it finishes it, it's going to set our image alpha equal to 0. And then it's going to set the fade in to false. And once that happens, this part will always start with an if fade in is false before it does any of its stuff. Alright, so we'll track from here. I'll figure this part out in a bit. Okay, so we faded in. We're going to draw our text and do all this stuff. What needs to change here? I think I can. I don't need anything that moves, so that doesn't matter. I just need this part. And what I can do, I can actually attach this to the back of this. No. Oh yeah, the drawing part actually doesn't happen until we're in the draw event. So I'll have to figure that out later. This is just if you can press the confirm button or not. So if the text is done, is when we move on, when you press a button. If the text is not done, this is where we skip through to the text. I don't know if 400 might be too much now. These characters aren't as long as the last one was. I think one of the longest ones is this one. I'm gonna count this real quick. That was 81. Alright, I'm going to just drop down to 100. I think 100 will cover anything I got, but I will write in here 81 should be my highest. Character limit. So 100 should auto-complete any text that I'm trying to draw. Okay, so I can't actually say state plus plus. I need to say fade out equals true. So if you press the button and the text is done, it'll swap the fade out on. If you press the button again, it shouldn't cause any errors. So it doesn't matter that this is still on. So, okay, once the fade out's turned on, that's when we do this. And then at the end of that, state plus plus fade in equals true. But that's not it. I also have to turn the fade out back off. Alright, so we're gonna start fading out. Once we're completely faded out, image alpha will equal 0. The state will advance. Fade in will be reset to true. Fade out will be reset to false. And then we start all over again. Same script, but in the next one. Oh yeah, okay, I can't. I was thinking about attaching this to here, but if I did that, my else wouldn't work anymore because if it's if fade in's ever on, it's going to automatically set the speed, so I can't do that. I need the fade in to come in before I do any of this stuff. What I could do is to stop you from pressing any buttons. It's not going to matter because it'll just be setting fade out to equal true again. But I could just say if fade in is false and fade out is false. But it's not really necessary, so I'm not sure if I'll do that. But that might be something I want to add later. Just so that if this has ever happened, this should never re-engage. I already know these speeds are going to be too slow, but I'm not going to mess with them just now. It'll be really easy to fix now. Like before, if I'd have done it like before and after every single state, it would have been really hard to change this because I had to change it in every single spot. This way it seems a lot better. I'm kind of happy I thought about that for a second. This isn't fade in anymore. Okay, so really, honestly, does this change at all? Because now that I think about it, all the drawing stuff is done here. So the only thing I really need to track the state for is for seeing what I'm drawing and what text I'm drawing. I don't even know if I need states for this. Like this, there's no reason to have this like this. All I need to do is, yeah, if I go that and not fade out. So if they're both turned defaults, then if you ever press the button, it's going to advance or automatically do this. I think this is something that actually doesn't go inside of the state. This is also out here like that because it doesn't matter. Okay, so what needs to be in here then? I can use this to set what the new string is. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of having multiple text strings, though. Maybe I should move on to the drawing part of this, because I don't really know. Alright, we'll leave this blank for now. I'm not exactly sure if I even need this whole state thing. It could just be something that I track a number, and I use that to figure out what I draw. Alright, let's figure out what we draw, and how that's going to work. I don't need this anymore. That was just for reference. Alright, what we need now is to know what we're actually drawing. Okay, there's definitely a reason to have states for any of them to animate, because that'll need its own thing. But for these still scenes, I really don't know. One thing is I can make the state actually equal what the cutscene's image index is, so that when this state advances, the image index will just advance automatically. In fact, I don't need a state in that case. I can just say image index advances. Cut out the middleman. Okay, let's start with just drawing this. So we're going to draw S, cutscene, 01, 0, actually image index, so I can change it. X and Y is just always going to be 0, 0. This is always going to be 1, 1, 0. See white, I don't see that ever changing, but this does need to be image alpha, so it fades in and out. Okay, so I can change the image index, I can change the image alpha. I'll have to draw like an animated picture on this one frame, but it's very rare that I have something that's animated inside of one of these still images. In fact, that might be like one of the only ones that has an animated component to it, and that's just because it's the first frame in the game. I wanted a twinkling orange star as the comet comes in. So that's kind of like a unique thing. Let's ignore that for now. That'll be easy enough to do. I can just say, like, if image index equals 0, draw star. Don't do that. Like a comet. There you go. But yeah, if we're ever at the 0, we'll start drawing whatever the star is doing here. And that'll be on top of this. Is that? Okay, so that's that much. Okay, what about doing the text next? I also need to figure out where the text goes. I haven't really added that part, so I'll have to figure that out. I didn't even do like a reference for the text, did I? Nope. That's odd. I thought I had like a reference image. Maybe I didn't add that. So do I just say something tells me I just want to say like whatever the text string is equals whatever, and then every time I change the image index I can just put like another one. I mean, this one will be different because it's got the star, but other than that most of them are just going to look like this. Equals 1 text string equals that, and then I just like copy paste this for every string. This one has 19, but again this is like one of the biggest ones. Most of them will just be like a couple of these. And this is where I can write in each of the different stuff. I don't see any reason to make a whole bunch of variables for this, right? And there shouldn't be any reason, like, I know technically this is going to be constantly be running while the image index is set to 1. Okay, how many do I need? We got 0 to We're gonna have 17, yeah. So okay, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 17. And then below this, now that we know what the string is where we draw it, which I actually do need that jellyfish one. I never copied that in. Which is this part. Okay, so we're going to set the font. I'm going to draw this scrolling text. It's going to be at, actually it's going to be at mouse X and mouse Y until I can figure out where it's actually supposed to go. It's going to be text string, text speed. One, undefined, be white, image alpha, same. And then we're going to track when it's done. And that's all good. When I go on to the next string, I do need to reset the text track, which was something I didn't have to do here, so I didn't have it. I need to pull that back up, which I saved in another file. Did I save it? I might not have saved it. That's dumb. Oh, here we go. I'm dragging all this in here, but I don't actually need the whole thing. I wonder if it's necessary to actually reset all these values anytime you do the text reset. Seems like there's wouldn't be any reason for this. I don't know exactly how this script works. It seems kind of unnecessary. This seems like if you wanted to change anything. Track speed done. Yeah, it's got nothing with that. I think this is just to reset the characters that are inside the previous script so that it starts from 0 again. So honestly, I don't think I need any of this stuff. But I actually do need the text done though. I need to set that back to false. And this is how, yeah, okay, I can say if it equals 1, it goes to the next one, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so this reset thing and this done, they need to be put in whenever it actually swaps. So not here. So it swaps when here. No, here. Alright, I need to expand this. Alright, and then the end of this, we're gonna do this. So we're gonna reset the text. That text done equals false. So probably, did I do it before or after? Do it before. Okay, so when the fade out completes, basically it's resetting everything, and it's also resetting the script that we've been using for tracking text. It's going to turn this text done off. We don't have to worry about any of this stuff triggering, even though I did this as like a backup failsafe. So it shouldn't trigger anytime. Oh, but this state plus plus we don't need anymore. Now this is index plus plus. And this is where I'm tracking all these different text strings. So guess I can set it on the first one. So technically, I don't even have to set it up here, because it will never read it before getting to here and setting it up anyway. Alright, so this is where I should start entering my text, I guess. There's just not quite enough room on the screen for this. I'm going to have to make this screen smaller, make room for my notepad, and what that's going to do to the stream. It just makes it look a little squished. That's fine. Be able to come over here. You can still see what I'm doing, I think, especially if I zoom in one. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to start typing this stuff in. Alright, if I can remember this, it's dash in, right? And I don't think I have to use any spaces. I was doing it before to make things easier to see, but I'm pretty sure I just type in the next part, what's on the next line. I've been wondering what I'm going to do with pronunciation here, because sometimes I like to capitalize certain words for emphasis, even though I know it's not grammatically correct. Sometimes it feels like you don't really want to add a period, because it's still like continuing into the next line. You know what, let's go back to, what was the punctuation like in the last game? We'll use that as an example. I'm just curious if, I mean, they had like people talking, so they probably use correct like sentence structure. Yeah, they got like periods. But it's more like talking. But something like Chrysalis, the game that I'm kind of emulating here with this joke, it doesn't use punctuation here. And actually, I think Chrysalis wrote this better than I did. They wrote it as the date, the end day. I'm not going to do that, but it is kind of funny. They use some punctuation. They use a lot of ellipses. I don't use ellipses that much. I used to. But I think ellipses started getting like frowned upon when people use them in texting. Yeah, Chrysalis uses ellipses and like to end every single one of its sentences basically. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not sure. What I'm seeing here is there's a lot of things I could do. And it's really just up to me. Alright, so I know a lot of these are going to be like, I'm going to have to space them correctly to put them in the center of the screen. And I think there's no way to do that other than like some trial and error. And in fact, I might need to like change the X coordinate of where this text is drawn. Which it's here. So if I set this to be like a variable that I can change every time we change the image index, yeah, I might have to actually like set up where it's being drawn every single time. So I probably want to, kind of like what I'm doing here, I'm just drawing it where the mouse is, and that'll make it a little bit easier for me to place it where it needs to go. But I'm gonna have to look at like every single frame and give them all an individual spot, because there's no way to like center the text in the center of the screen other than to eyeball it. You know, like Game Maker Studio doesn't have an automatic align to center function that I know of. Oh, I'd feel stupid if it did. Alright, but I need to activate this so I can see what my coordinates of the mouse are. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change like this X and Y coordinate later. For now, let's just get the text in and get all this working. And we'll worry about like where it goes later. Okay, a lot of my spelling is incorrect, so I gotta make sure I'm constantly checking this. So I'm not using punctuation here. I think this is kind of like all the big run-on sentence. When I start doing like people talking, I'll probably use punctuation to show that they've finished their line, right? So maybe it's like, sometimes I will, but sometimes I won't, depending on the situation. I don't know if there has to be a space here or not. So before, I was actually ending the string and adding it to the next. That's because I was putting these in. I don't think that's necessary. I just don't remember if there's got to be like a space between the N and the next character. Well, technically not, because if this adds, like here, yeah, if this to add the A is technically right next to the A, or right next to the N here. So I don't think I have to. Should work just like this. It looks kind of weird because it's like Nav. We're ellipsing. Our first one. Like I wonder if I want to capitalize meteor here. For most of my stuff, I haven't been capitalizing it, but it seems like something that needs to be capitalized because it is sort of the name for my meteor as well. It's not just a meteor, but it is the meteor. And I haven't come up with a name for the meteor. It just seems like I might want to capitalize that. Though, I kind of wonder about like the weirdness. To me, it seems like it's right to capitalize it. But, I don't know. I'm gonna capitalize for emphasis. I don't care. Like here, I said, actually, it's not in here. It's coming up. I have one that's like every word is capitalized. Like ex-secret agent. I feel like I want to capitalize that just for emphasis. I'm just gonna do it. That's how I write. High school science teacher. So I feel like I don't want to have a period here because I'm just showing the location. It's not really a sentence. I don't know. This is the long one. I think it is. If you're going to say opposing sides weigh in, it's like this, isn't it? I might have to look that up. I feel like that's correct, but it looks wrong for some reason to me. Yeah, that's right. Looks weird. Little period there. This is a lady on the news talking. Oh, I can't use quotations. Forgot about that. I can do it this way. How many times did I use quotations in here? That's right, quotes don't work for code. I don't know how to add quotations. There's probably a way. Add quotations and not have it affect the code. Let me look. Here we go. Using quotes in a string. Okay, there's lots of answers here. None of them is really simple. Most of them are like add the different ASCII numbers for each quote, which seems like a lot of work to add quotes. But it says if I use slash quote in a string, it adds a quotation. I wonder, that seems like the easiest way, but how does that work? Let me try it. It's going to be like the in. This is what I figured I would find. So if I did this slash quote, and then I'd have to do on this end as well. There we go. So that should put my house in quotes. We'll see. And then I'm probably going to get rid of the caps lock there then. There we go. Yeah, see, it's when I go over this, it's showing this quote. I wonder why it only does it for this one. Is it confused because I did another one of these dashes here? I have no idea how this is going to work. I want to say righteous or cowabunga. And then another dash quote. Okay, that's kind of confusing, and I don't know if it's going to work. Let's hope so. Also, what happened here? Oh yeah, the space is supposed to be there. Okay, it is the correct dash, right? Yeah, it's left dash. That's what I've been using. Okay. I've never used left dash as much as this. I think I've spelled exciting wrong. It just doesn't look right again. Exciting. Isn't that right? Why does that not look right? It just doesn't look right. I keep running into this. Actually, I should keep this page open in case these quotes don't work. Exciting. Oh, that's right. My brain isn't accepting any words today, apparently. This one has to be capitalized. It's the final phrase of the game. And the start, one of the first ones. Call back. Seems like I've left one of these out. Maybe I miscounted. I changed the name of the ship, by the way. I thought Ripley was a little too overused. I've seen Ripley used in like other things, right? Though she was used in the Metroid game, so there's a reason to do like a callback to it, but I don't know. I just didn't like the name Ripley for my boat. So I called it the Connor. And where I got the name Connor from, that is the name of the player the kid that Elijah Wood plays in The Faculty. I think it's Casey Connor. So I'm gonna call it the Connor because yeah, his name was Connor and he killed an alien pretty much like what my alien is based on. So yeah, that's why we called the boat the Connor. Maybe people will figure out that reference. Kind of an obscure one. Oh, what? Are you booze? There's gonna be lots of spelling mistakes, aren't there? I gotta be really careful. I make spelling mistakes a lot more often than I think that I do. I noticed that when I was doing the research one as well. I was constantly like, especially because I was getting like character counts, which was really annoying because I don't know, just how many times I put the same two words back to back, right? Like, it is too far away or something. I don't know. Sometimes that stuff just happens while you're writing. And it really matters when you have a character limit. So, hopefully I don't make any more obvious mistakes. I mean, I don't think my spelling is that bad, but sometimes, kind of like this, my brain just doesn't accept certain things. Even though it should be something that it's not confusing me. I don't know why I'm getting stuck on like exciting, right? It's not even like a hard word to spell. It just looks weird to me. Like EXC. I don't know why. I know it's correct. Oh, this is why it's wrong. We got all the way to here. And I thought, oh, there's one missing, but that's because, yeah, this is supposed to be 0. I put it in the wrong spot. I can fix this. Okay, I gotta change all the numbers. Or move them all down one. I think it'd be easier to just change the numbers now. Because I screwed it up. Well, that explains that. Thought it was weird that my count came out incorrect at the end. But this one... There we go. Basically what we had before. Okay, so this should let me look at it. None of this is going to be correct though. I just need to decide like how I want to actually place this text in the scene. Like, I might do it. It would be easier if everything was like left aligned. And you know what? Let's Google that too. Is there a way to change the alignment on text? That seems like something that's not going to happen, but maybe. I should at least check. Draw set H align. Maybe this will do it. Oh yeah, it does. So if I set draw set H align to be FA center, it will draw my text right in the center of the string. Maybe. Okay. Well, I'm glad I checked. Let me try that. Because that'll make it way easier to place. I just place it right in the center. And it should do everything correctly. I don't know if that'll work if I have multiple lines. We'll see that, but let me try that. Yeah, I knew about this too. I've used this before. I just forgot. Alright, draw set H align. That's what we want. Where's my folder? Here we go. But it only matters for the drawing part. Ooh, can I do the draw set H align for this? Let's try it. I don't know if it'll work, but... Oh, crap. What was it? It was FA center. There we go. Okay. That should center my text. I wonder if I have to reset this H align, where it's going to screw stuff up again in the future. Probably. I probably do have to reset at the end here. I think left is what it is. by default. Yeah. Like, I'm not 100% sure that I have to reset it, but something tells me I have to reset it. Otherwise, this is gonna kind of like changing the font. If you change the font and you don't change it again, it'll just keep applying this font to everything that you do from now on. Usually it doesn't matter because I change the font before I do any text. But this one, I hardly ever change the H-align, so I need to reset it back, I think. Okay, so I should be able to test this. But first I need to open initialize so that we go to the correct room for testing. I also got to drop this item in the room. Well, let's open that up. Oh, I already got it. Just got to drop the thing in there. Doesn't matter where it goes, and just drop it in the center. Okay. I think this is it. It's going to be missing a lot of stuff, but it should play through to the end. Only thing here is I need to set something up to where... Oh, I could just check here. Yeah, but then this whole state thing for the fade out's not really going to work. I mean, the easiest way to do that, I think, is just check. If it equals 17, which is our last one, then we do this. Otherwise, I don't really need that part. Otherwise, we do that. Okay, so if it equals 17, this is where we exit the scene. And we've already faded out to get to this point. So really it's just like room go to we also have to set whatever global we just did, which I can go ahead and figure that out. And then I have to figure this out to where it actually does the same thing. Well, this one's easy. The instant one just skips right across. But the hold one, I want it to go to the fade out. But I can't go to the fade out without causing some issue. Oh, I can say if hold equals 0 for the fade out, we do something else. Okay, so okay, here we go. This is what we do. We say fade out equals true. Fade in equals false. So whatever it happened to be doing, once you accomplish the auto skip, hold will equal 0, fade out, fade in. You know, I don't have to do this. I could just do what I'd had before and just plug it in here. Seems like a much smarter way to do this. Okay, let's bring up the jellyfish again. So basically, I'm just skipping ahead to this part. But I'm going to throw that in here. What kept it equaling 0 before? Oh, here we go. If hold does not equal 0. So yeah, if it ever gets to 0, it's never going to go back down. Okay, that's true. So I just need to figure out, where does this go? Okay, so this whole part needs to go like here. And as long as I put an exit, we're not going to run any more code. So instead of this, this is where I'm going to exit. Okay, so what this will do, if I ever get hold equal to 0, then it's not going to go down, even if you release the button, because of this. So none of this is going to play anymore. But now that it equals 0, this is going to play. And this is going to start lowering the image alpha everything. Also, the hold alpha is going to change to be this image alpha. And when it hits 0, then we're going to progress. So that basically does what I had before. And it's going to exit every time, because we don't care about any of this anymore. We've just skipped everything. I guess we don't need this state then, if we're going to do it this way. So we can get rid of state. We're not going to use the state machine for this. Turns out. We use this fade in and fade out mechanic. Also, I feel like I can put this at the top. I don't know. If it gets through here, I want it to start happening immediately, so nothing else happens. And I don't have to worry about any of this stuff triggering because we're exiting at this point, so it should work. The only thing this is going to cause an issue with is like the 1 or 2 that have a like a special scene or like an animated scene. I won't just be able to advance the image index. I'll have to come up with something else. But what I can do is I can insert like this. If the image index equals whatever, then we can advance the image index, but we're going to have to do like a special one for drawing the next scene and then get back on track with whatever. I don't know. Yeah, the ones that are animated just make things a little more complicated, but they're very rare. It's only like the first scene. There's not that many animated like still images. I'm pretty sure there's just a two. There's the one that is the meteor in the front, which is pretty simple. And then there's the one that, the more complex one is the montage one. That one's gonna be the only real complicated one to figure out. The rest of it should work just fine like this. Just advancing the index and changing the what the text is based on what index we're on, and constantly drawing it. We can skip it any time. Okay, I think I can test this now. The last thing is, yeah, just hopefully that we'll see how this center line works. I hope it works the way I think it works. That'd be great. Of course, it's gonna have to like redraw the game or something, isn't it? Actually, it probably doesn't, because I don't think we actually made a new object. Whoa, whoa, it's flying through all the scenes really fast. Okay, something's wrong. I wonder what's going on. You couldn't see it, but it was constantly running through them all super fast. Okay, fade in. It's supposed to fade in. And then it'll set image alpha equals 1, fade in equals false. Oh, I think I forgot to add something here. Yeah, nothing sets fade out to equal true again, right? Where did I do that? Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. We have the else. So we're constantly setting this back off because, yeah, technically, I'm saying if fade out is false. No, that's not true because this one is the very last one. Yeah, that's not true. Okay, it's not what I think. If fade out is false, none of this will play. Yeah, this is what sets the fade out equal true. Okay, I have no idea what was going wrong. We'll have to figure that out. So it faded in correctly. And it should set fade in equals false. Then the text should start drawing. So technically we're at this state where fade in and fade out are both false. Alright, this is not triggering because hold does not equal 0. This isn't triggering because hold does not equal 0. And we're not pressing the cancel key, so none of this should happen. Okay, I feel like the problem is in here. We're not pressing any buttons. So nothing should change here. It's gotta be in like the draw event then, right? There's also the possibility that my sprite is animated, which I have it right here, and it says 0 frames per second. So it's not animated. So I have no clue. None of this would cause an issue. All I can think is I got to draw all these different variables and figure out what's which the wrong way. Oh, I know what's happening. Okay, I get it now. Because I'm setting fade in equal true and I'm turning the fade out off. But the problem is because our alpha is already set to 0, it's not advancing. That doesn't make any sense. It should advance back up to 1 before this turns back off, right? That's what I was thinking. But no, if it's any number below 0.99, it should start creeping back up. So it should definitely not go to the next image index. I have no idea. I've looked at the code and nothing here tells me that we would get the error that we just received. Let me look at it again and see what's going on. It doesn't even fade in right. It's constantly running through all the image indexes. It's displaying the last image index on my text. Luckily the text does draw correct. I might as well just show you what I'm looking at. Warning, flashing lights. Yeah, I like the way this is set up at least. So I can just set this wherever I want it to be, like right in the center. Just kind of hard to eyeball right now. And it should just totally work, and I don't have to do anything aggravating. But I have no idea why this is happening. We're on the last of our text strings, and this is running constantly. And I don't know why. I mean, I could try to set image speed to 0, but it should already be 0. I'm looking at it right here, it's 0. But let's just try that and see if it's some other weird issue going on. That actually worked. What? Why was it animating? Oh, it's working great now, though. I mean, I'm glad for a simple solution, but I prefer solutions that I understand. And I don't understand this. Oh, I know why. Because this is set to no sprite. And no sprite doesn't... I mean, no sprite actually does have an image speed. I think that's what's going on. This is a weird one, because usually I set my object to be equal to the sprite. But because I'm just drawing that sprite, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. So yeah, it is actually animating because it was set to, like, I don't know what no sprite would be set to. But okay, so that is what it was then. Well, cool. Now that we got that figured out, let's look at it again and actually run through it. Make sure everything's right. Alright, so this is what I see. So we got our background scene. Noticing it's flickering a bit. I don't know why that would be happening. Right? I mean, nothing else is flickering, but I see the stars are flickering. That tells me the image alpha is like... Yeah, it looks like the image alpha is going up and down a lot. Either way, I should find out where this goes. I mean, well, it should definitely be at 960, right? Because that's middle of the screen. So, yeah, that's a given. The big thing is... Where are we at? I think it's like 757, 760 maybe. If I want a clean number. That looks about right. Only if it's 3 lines long, it's going to go a little lower than this. Maybe I go 750. Let's go 750. The 960, 750. Actually, I could probably do some math and figure out exactly what like a third or a fourth of the screen is. Anyway, yeah, something's wrong with the image alpha. I'll check it later. Let's just run through the rest of this. So if I click, yep, it fades out, and then the next one fades in. Displays the text. One on the lips there. Meteor causes record-breaking waves. Tensions rise as opposing sides weigh in. Local resident says, my house, while local surfers say righteous. Okay, this is working basically what I thought. How do I reach these kids? Let's study something exciting. Honestly, I have a lot more width to work with. I can put more text in this if I wanted to. But I think keeping it short and sweet will help with the, you know, the zoomers. People don't like it to read. If you give them too much to read, they get all wiggy nowadays. There you go. Okay, well, I'm happy with most of that. I gotta figure out what's going on with the image alpha, but worked pretty well. Okay. Well, after this, dot dot dot. I need to give this guy a name. I've been using Mr. Shader, but I think right here we drop a new line and just like name him. I'm thinking he's got to be named Jack, right? Jack Sheeter. Because I don't know, Jack is the secret agent name. That or John. Could be John. John Sheeter or Jack Sheeter? John does work a little better. I still don't know how to say this word, by the way. I just used it because it was a Jaws reference. I know I looked it up at some point too, but oh, shoot. Yeah, I like it. We'll do that. Okay. Let's see if there's a reason my image alpha is bouncing. Also, well, one thing, the transitions are too slow anyway, right? Another thing is I don't want to actually draw my text. Until fade in is off. I think this will work. Oh man, Tactics Ogre subreddit's been going crazy with the release of the new game. Honestly, I don't have much interest in playing the new Tactics Ogre though. I really like the game, but I played it sort of recently. I mean, not that much, but it was a couple years ago. And I feel like I just don't feel much draw to go back to play it. Maybe in a couple years I'll pick it up and I'll play the new version. I've heard people are loving it though. It's doing like really good on Steam, which is awesome. It's cool to see a retro game that I love get some popularity again. Okay, so once this sets image alpha equals 1, fade in equals false. Fade out will be false until you press a button. So technically there should be no like shifting image alpha. Also, something I was thinking about, when you skip ahead by pressing this button, there we go. It doesn't actually I'm not really including the fade in because the fade in and fade out was supposed to be a lot faster than this. Let's set this to like 0.9, 0.1. This is going to go way faster. Actually too fast, I think, if I do it this much. Right, that's like, it only takes 10 frames to actually fade in. I want it to be like 30 frames. So, I don't even know what that is. Well, I know that if that's 10, this would be 20. Let's do... Let's do this, 0.5 instead. So this will be 0.95, this will be 5 and 5. Everything else should be the same. Oh, except for this part when it fades out. I want it to fade out slowly though, so I'm good with that. Okay, let's try that out. Also, I can, before I go any further, instead of mouse X, mouse Y, we can now do our numbers, which are 960 and 750. And that means I can turn off my controller thing. But you know what I will do? I'm going to turn this off. Do I have another draw text? I do, right here. Let's draw. Oh. I just want to ensure that the alpha is not actually changing, so I'm going to draw it on the cursor just to see it. Okay, let's test. So right now it's set to 1. Yeah, it's not changing. It just kind of looks like... You won't be able to see it, but I can see it. These stars are flickering. And even like the small ones are flickering. Maybe that's like a VSync thing? I don't know. Because they are like pixel. Oh, that's weird. Nothing else is flickering though. It's just this sprite. It's unusual. I like that zoom in speed's a lot better. John, shoot. So stupid. It's Cordy. It's supposed to be Cordy. Shooter Science Lab. Giant meteor causes record-breaking waves. Tensions rise as opposing sides weigh in. Local resident says, my house. While local surfers say, righteous. How do I reach these kids? And then right here is where I would play the cutscene that's animated, but I just got a crash. So let me deal with that. The crash is draw line 39. Oh, yeah, I know why. Because this doesn't exist anymore. Okay, I can get rid of that. Okay, so everything worked great. We just need to do our two animated parts, which is the star and then the final cutscene. I wonder if I set the image index to equal -1, will that make this not draw anymore? Okay, I want to test that, because I'm not sure if that works or not. I mean, I could always also just say, oh yeah, I'm not going to set a sprite index, so yeah, I'm trying to do this without... Actually, I could equal... What happens if it equals 18? Now that I think about it. If the sprite doesn't have 18 frames. I don't know. I want to test those. Because I've never done that. Because why would you? Yeah, what happens if it equals 18? Also, I need to test skipping. So, we should do that as well. I'm just going to run through here and see what happens if I get to 18. Also, I want to see how fast I can skip through it. You can skip through it pretty fast. I'm actually cruising through these cutscenes. Alright, 18. 18 just goes back to 1. Or 0. Okay, tested that. So what happens if I set it to -1? If it makes it disappear, that would be awesome, because then I can just do what I actually want to do without having to cut this part off. So it wouldn't be too hard to cut that off. I'm just curious if there's an easy way to go about it. Alright, I'm gonna get to the end of the cutscene real quick. Well, this is going pretty quick. I mean, I thought it would. But heck, I might have all these cutscenes done by tonight if it goes this fast. Okay, so it went to -1, but that still showed the last frame. So that doesn't work either. Alright, so that doesn't work. I'll have to come up with a new solution for the animated part. For now, I'm just going to keep this in here. But this needs to be moved somewhere else so that I have my sprite cut off. All right, let's draw this star. Shouldn't be too difficult. So I do have a star that I've already kind of set up. We just kind of edited it a bit. Here it is. Might as well use what we've already done. This thing like has a twinkly effect to it. And basically copy this. I'm just gonna have to change some stuff around, but oh yeah, I don't want to copy it though, do I? I don't want to make it an object. I could make it an object. I can actually make a bunch of objects on screen for the star scene. Yeah, it rotates to a random direction. More likely to go up and down. I would change a little bit of this, but it's mostly the same. I can't really use this image out. Okay, so I can kind of use this code, but I'm gonna have to create like new variables for some of it. So we're gonna have like star. I'm gonna put this at the end because this isn't something I'm gonna copy into other ones. I'll just have to get rid of it later. So this is star alpha equals whatever it equals to start with. Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna use all these variables. Basically doing the same thing. Did I even do a star angle? Why do I only have it grow and shrink when it's This is weird. Why did I do this? I made it to where if the image angle ever equals 45, it doesn't actually grow and shrink. I mean, I'm gonna try this, but I have no idea why I made this decision. I must have done it for a reason because it looked better. That seems really weird. I don't know where this goes. Do like 300 and 300 for now. Okay, that should draw the star and it should animate, though none of it's going to be correct. We need something to start with to figure out where I'm going with it. I want something that twinkles but actually slowly gets bigger over time. I got to add a new one for like growing. But I want to see what's going on with like the twinkle. Also, like, the fuck? I drew O Sky Star, right? O Sky Star. Oh, no, that's an object. That's why it broke. Looking at the wrong thing. We want star. That one. Try it again. Yeah, you can't draw an object. Gotta draw the sprite. It was almost in the right spot, though. Okay, you can look at this with me. It's very small. I want to see it grow. Yeah, there it is. So it does grow when it's rotated. Looks a bit weird. I should have paid attention to where I need to move this real quick. So I know it needs to go right a bit. Let's go. Yeah, really just like right 200 would be fine, I think. That's about right. So another thing, this actually needs to start at just 0 instead of random range. I think that was supposed to be a 1 and not a 2. Either way, it starts at 0. I do kind of like this. I still don't understand why I did this though. Oh, here we go. This is why. I wasn't reading the rest of it. So, okay. If it equals 0, it increases by a large amount. If it equals, okay. If it equals 45, it increases by half the speed. I understand it now. Now, that's exactly what I want. Now I just need something like a consistent size that gets bigger over time. So we'll just say star size equals 0 to start with. Then we're going to do that might be really slow, but I mean, this is, I don't know. And then we're going to say okay, so if it's less than 5, it's going to add up. And we're just going to like add this star size to our normal size so that it's constantly growing in this. So it'll just be this. I think times would be too much. I wanted to add, but let's try it. It'll be 5 times as big at the maximum size. That might be a little too big. Nope, not that. Times. There we go. I want this thing to slowly get bigger and bigger if you just stay on the screen. This is basically working, but it starts way too small. We need to start with like at least the 1 so you can see it. And I think it's growing just a little slow. Maybe I want to do like a 0.2. Alright, 5 is too big. Let's do 0.5 and get to like a 3 faster. Want to be waiting around for like 20 seconds for the star to get to its max size. But it should be pretty gradual. Alright, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this just one or the other, more likely to swap. And the other thing I want to do, say this star alpha, but I'm going to say that needs to be times the actual image alpha. So if the image alpha equals 0, the star will also fade away. But if the image alpha equals 1, nothing's really going to change. Okay, I just tested the skip too and it works. But I didn't show you any of that, so let me do that. Usually when the stream's not on, I don't full screen very often. So I gotta remember, got a full screen if I want you to see it. So this is the first scene. We got the star over here, or the meteorite, really. It gets pretty big. But I think this is max size right now. I might want it to like twinkle faster though. So that seems okay. One thing is I could put the star somewhere more around this area so that the eye is more led into being here. Also, here's the bit. It still works. We'll just fade the whole thing out. You can't actually click on anything until it transitions. So that does work. So yeah, what I'm thinking is move it to the right a little more, maybe up. Actually, I want to look at it again. I need to see how far it needs to go. I think it needs to go like to the right a bit. To the right, maybe up a little. Alright, yeah. No, it doesn't need to go up. It just needs to go right like another 100 or 200. Let's go all the way to 700. See if that's too far or not. That looks a lot better. Yeah, and then that leads right into where the meteorite's actually going to be. Okay, I like that. Good spot. So that's that animated. Kind of complicated to get it there. Well, whatever. That's what it takes to animate that star. Oh, and I was thinking that I might want it to move faster, so to do that, need to increase these numbers. Let's just double these numbers and see if it's a little better. I just want it to move or twinkle a bit faster. If I speed this up. Oh, that's way too fast. That was good where it was. Not sure. It might be a little too fast now. Maybe I want the whole thing to like rotate a bit. It'd be kind of complicated to do. Actually, no, it won't. I can just say, okay, I'm gonna try that. Might be a little strange. Pretty slow to start with. So all I have to do here is say it plus equals 0 or 45. And that'll still have the same effect, but it'll constantly be swirling. If it's spinning, I can't see it. Plus, I think that's the wrong way. Let's do minus equals times 10. I don't like it rotating. Okay, after much like trial and error, this is what I ended up going with. It's just in the center, on and off. I think maybe I can make it a little bigger. No, it's getting bigger. I know it's weird here. It's because I'm timesing it by the other number. It's constantly fading all the way out. And I think I don't want that to happen. So maybe I need to add the other number. So instead of, yeah, times the star size, let's try to just plus it. That's going to make it like way bigger. I'd have to tone all the other numbers back down. That's no good. I just feel like the issue with this is it looks like it starts to pulse faster and faster the larger the size is, which makes sense because, yeah, it's going all the way back to 0 to whatever the large size is. I could have it add to this based on the size as well, then that would even out. I think. This might be a waste of time. That's a lot of effort to put into one little twinkling star, but it is the very first scene of the game. I want it to look really nice. I want it to be what I want. I'm willing to put in a little extra effort. Oh no, that's getting worse. It's the other way around. Did I divide? Or I just say screw it, it was fine before. Yeah, let's just go with that. I like saying screw it. I should do that more often. Okay. So I guess the last thing is the color right? I know it's orange, but is it the same orange that my meter actually is? Because it feels like it's not quite the color I want. That's pretty close. Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, it could be a little bit of a darker orange. Okay, I think that's done. Okay, next thing. So to add my animated scene in, I just need to throw it in, tack it in here. I could do it with like just another variable that I activate. That would be one way of doing it. And actually, if I make this something that when I copy and paste it, all of them can use, I can just do like an animated variable. Like we say, animated equals true. Oh, you know, I'll leave this in here. I'll just put it somewhere else later. And then we say if not animated, draw that. I don't want to draw text if we're animating. This won't matter. Because we're not drawing it anymore anyway. Okay, so once we get to this part, we just drop in here, if animated, whatever we're doing with the animation. Which they're all going to be different. This one I've actually kind of already done when I made the port. It's going to be very similar to that. Unfortunately, it's been so long since I've done it, kind of forgotten. Alright. Animated images. Animated cutscene 01. Right, so we're going to display this picture. It's got a fade in. I'll probably do a slower fade in for this. What's the best way to do this? Do I just make objects because that's easier? Otherwise, I'm tracking like a lot of variables. Like when I did this, I made a bunch of objects. There's really no reason I can't do that. It would make moving things around a lot easier. Also, a lot of these things have different speeds at which they animate, which kind of needs me to make a new object. So I think at this point, I just create all the objects that I need to do the animation. And I actually don't need anything in the draw event. So we'll just create the objects that animate. I think that'd be the easiest way to do it. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to add in here, new group. Maybe I say, so this is all the first animation ones. They don't all have ones, but I'll delete them later. Okay, let's do it like this. I guess I need this room back open. How many? There's a lot. 12 and 3 upgrades. Can I just duplicate this? No. All right, there's 12 plus 3. Up 1, 2, 3. In fact, I should have just named these based on which ones they are. Would have been better. Too late, I've come too far. I'll rename them later. Alright, so when I get to this part, I just create the objects I want. Which, I mean, this will be pretty easy. It's just making them and what they do. I feel like I should name these something other than O. Like I could name these CS for cutscene. That way I know anything with the prefix CS. Like this is background. These are effects. Anything with CS is cutscene. I think I'll do that. This will get confusing with all these different like identical objects. I don't even think I need a background. Well, yeah. How does this work? Okay, so for this one, cutscene, animated, 01, we want to do the dock wave, and then do draw, and say, draw sprite. Oh man, this is gonna get confusing. There's so many sprites. Okay, I don't need this anymore. Don't care about the port or the pause menu. Let's close all that. Shouldn't need this. Don't care about research stuff anymore. Don't care about this. Alright. So we're drawing sprite. SAC01 dock. There we go. We draw the dock here, draw ourselves. The dock doesn't animate, but this thing does animate, and this way I can kind of get, I don't need to create another object for this. Technically the ship can have all three of these on it. I just need to edit it in the correct way. It'll be kind of confusing, but I can do it. Create a new object. Okay, so we want the sprite to be something that animates. Do like front wave. Hello. CS ship. Should I attach an 01 to this? Actually, I should do CS 01 ship. That way I don't overlap names on accident later on. Alright, let me check that. Oh, you know what? I never did check to see if my quotations worked last time. Let me check that, because I totally forgot about that. Nothing's broken right now, so we can go ahead and look at that. Should be able to without any issue. But I don't remember which one it was. Okay, it was the local resident part, the news part. I assumed it worked because I didn't notice it, but who knows? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Oh yeah, it's got to draw. Crap. Well, we can keep working while it does that. All right. Making cutscenes. We're programming them. So far it's going pretty well. Haven't had any like big issues. Also, I think I can stretch this back out. Go ahead and do that. I have to quit here soon. Yeah, that's right. I didn't really get much sleep last night. I think I only slept like, I don't even know if I slept 3 hours. I might have only got 2 hours of sleep. No wonder I'm so tired right now. I think, honestly, I think we get the idea. We basically got this worked out, and the last bit is just going to be these objects dictating what happens last, which is going to be this ship animating as it drives out to sea, and then once it reaches a certain X coordinate, it's going to do this part where it activates this global progress and changes the room, and that'll be really the end of it. And that's going to be how I do all the cutscenes going forward, which is basically copying and pasting this. They should get pretty easy until I get to that one montage one, which will be annoying, but oh god, I have a crash. What's the problem? Not set before reading it. Oh, I didn't actually put it in here, did I? That's right. That would be the problem. Let's throw it here. Yeah. That defaults by default. Try it again. So the thing I was checking for was quotations. Alright, we're gonna test this. We're gonna look at it. Make sure everything's good. And then I'm going to do the animated part, and I'll probably just go on, do the rest of these cutscenes. Who knows if I'll stream or not. But there it is. In the distant future, June 30th, 1994. Alright, this is the one that's supposed to have quotes. What's the next one? Yeah. There you go. The quotes work. Alright, it's good to see that that works. I don't know how to do that. And that it is actually working. Great. Just add that one final cutscene, which I've disabled. That's right, it's not going to actually do anything. Yeah, I add these objects. They're going to run, play their little animation. Once they're done playing their animation, they're going to kick us back out to the world map and upgrade our progress. And that's how it works. And we're going to do that for every single one of them. Or I'm going to do that. And honestly, it doesn't get much more complicated than that. Like, the only one that's really complicated is the montage ones. I think the animated scenes are all pretty simple. Yes, there are a couple that are more complex. I'll look at them again real quick. Animated cutscenes. Alright, so the first one's very simple. Second one's pretty easy. Third one's more complicated. It's got like the alien going in front of the camera. The fourth one, that should be too hard. Fifth one's easy. Sixth one will be a little more complicated because it's got like this whole dynamic light thing, but I've already kind of done that. Can't be that much harder. Seventh one's definitely more complicated. It's got like guns and stuff. The ninth one is probably going to be the hardest of all the animated cutscenes. Well, no, that's not true. The finale is going to be the hardest because there's a lot of stuff happening in the finale. Yeah, okay, so the finale is definitely the hardest one to do. The rest of them, they're not that difficult though. Outside of like the finale and the, the ninth cutscene? Those might take me a little bit of time, but everything else is pretty easy. And we've got like the majority of the code already figured out. Right, I'm just copying and pasting this. So, okay, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna quit. I'm tired. Maybe I'll get some sleep tonight. That'd be nice for a change. All right, that's it for me. Later.